pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After a week off for the 2022 Season 3 update, we come now to Phoenix Raceway in Phoenix, Arizona for round number 11 of the Night Shift Racing League season right here on ESBN. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. I'll be taking over for Jason for the remainder of the season. Jason with work, so I will be taking over for the remainder of the season. A great finale to this season getting set to unfold that will end just after the week of 4th of July. A lot of new coming into this race here today. With this new update, this is the first time that these guys have had a chance to run that update, and we'll be talking about a lot of the changes that have come over through that Season 3 update as this race goes on. But first, we'll take a look at the point standings coming into this race after the week off. David Hunt currently holding a 19-point lead over Chris Otto coming into this race. Now, in practice, both of these guys are sitting towards the bottom of the pylon, 7th and 8th. Those two guys currently sit. Mike Hamlin in striking distance as well. So is Chris Papa. Christian Roos in the top 5, also right there. As you get into the top 10, though, a lot of close battles throughout the remainder of this field. So it will certainly make for a very, very entertaining fight for the remainder of this season as far as the championship is concerned. Taking a look at the racetrack right now, that is the 48 of Chris Otto right there, the aforementioned Chris Otto. Right now, Gino Marrow currently holds the fastest time at a 27.671 as we have about 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this practice session. A lot of the differences that have come over with this new update. There is a brand new restart procedure in iRacing. There is a brand new damage model for these cars. And the way these cars are configured has also been changed a little bit. That rear diffuser on the back of these cars, you can see just under the 45 right there. The rear diffuser on these cars has been lowered. So that will change the handling of these cars and make doing what the 45 just did, coming off of the banking, going into and through the dog leg and then coming back up on the back end of it. That could be very treacherous for these guys tonight with the lowered back end of the car. And that diffuser now does have physics to it, so you can chip it, you can bend it, you can break it, and it will affect the race car as the race goes on. The new damage model, I'm sure we'll get a chance to see. I've seen it in practice here with these guys, testing it out a little bit. And also the new restart procedure, that Geico restart zone that you see at every oval track, that actually has some sort of meaning now. If just like in real NASCAR, if you start before the restart zone, you will get a jump start penalty and be forced to come into pit road. Same thing for starting after it. You will get a penalty and you will be forced to take a black flag. We are getting now into the qualifying session here for today's race. 11 drivers set to take the field here tonight, as qualifying has just clicked over. 5-minute qualifying session followed by one 8-lap heat race before we get to the feature, as Daniel Pearson will be the first driver to jump out onto the racetrack. Justin Roden there as well in the 01 on track and right around the same position. There he is in the 01. Blake Howell jumping on track. Gino Marrow on track. Rick Helms has just jumped on track as well. But the first man to start his flying lap will be Justin Roden in this 01. And we'll see what he can put down as far as a qualifying time. Everyone except Kobe Sutphin, Chris Otto, Christian Roos, and Chris Papa currently on track in some way, shape, or form. As Justin Roden completes his first lap, he will have the benchmark time. As Roden will set down a 27.82, but it did not stand for long as the 21 of Daniel Pearson put down a quicker time right at the death. Gino Marrow goes up to P2. Pearson fastest of all on the first half of the lap. Mike Hamlin on his first lap just set purple, fastest first half of the lap. And Pearson not able to better his qualifying time. Here is Mike Hamlin as Blake Howell jumps up to third. Hamlin goes to fifth. So it's that turn, the old turn 1 and 2 around this racetrack, wreaking a little bit of havoc with these guys as Hamlin on lap number 2. David Hunt right around the same spot. There's Hunt completing his second lap. Hamlin does better his second lap. Hamlin will go up to third. Hunt will stay in sixth. Christian Roos on track, completing his second lap. In that smoke pit number 14 Chevrolet. Taking the bottom, and we'll see these guys start to fiddle about with lines and which line should work for these guys, as Roos will better his time but not his position, so he will remain seventh. Kobe Sutphin in the 81, about to complete his second lap. Personal best, and there's the damage model coming into play. And we'll see that a lot. Broken right front suspension on the 81. As Chris Otto, starting his second lap, did not put in a valid first lap. Wonder if he caught the wall somewhere. As Otto works his way down the old front straightaway. Through turns 3 and 4. There's your Geico restart zone that we'll be paying attention to tonight. Chris Otto will go 9th on his qualifying attempt at a 28:11. That would leave Chris Papa the only driver to not set a qualifying time just yet here in this session, and Papa would only get one lap in at this time if he were to go, and to be perfectly honest, it's not looking as though he's going to set a lap, and if he were to, he's not going to get it in at this point anyway. So it'll be Daniel Pearson sitting on pole here for this race. Round 11 from Phoenix Raceway. And Daniel Pearson sitting on pole by just 0.02 of a second. Almost exactly 0.02 of a second. Mike Hamlin did not miss the front row by much, just 0.001 of a second. The 28 missed the front row by, as we will now get set to go into our first heat race. It will be an 8-lap heat race that we will jump into first here today. And 9 drivers will participate in this heat race. So we'll take a look at the starting lineup for said heat race, as it will be Mike Hamlin leading the way. 27.705, good enough to put him P1 for the heat race. Blake Howell will join him on row number 1. Justin Roden and David Hunt will make up row 2. Christian Roos and Rick Helms in row 3. Row 4 goes to Chris Otto and Kobe Sutphin, with Chris Papa not setting a time. He will start this heat race from 9th. As the cars now begin to roll off of pit road, we'll take a look at the weather conditions here for this heat race. Just a little bit shy of 4 o'clock in the afternoon here in sim time. Very light wind blowing to the north, 101 degree track temperature that these guys will be facing here tonight. Or pardon me, here this afternoon. Not used to calling a race so early. So now this is where the restart zone comes into play. Now these guys are clear from behind the pace car. They can start this race effectively wherever they wanted before this update. But now they are forced to wait until we hit the Geico restart zone. There you see the signs on the wall. There they are. Green flag is in the air, and this first 8-lap heat race is underway. Hamlin trying to hold on that inside line, but Blake Howell on the outside in that number 99, able to keep that momentum up. The outside line is going to be the preferred line through the flat turns 1 and 2. 3 and 4, it's a pick your poison. Oh, push up there from Roden in the 01, or pardon me, from Hunt in the 53, pushing Roden up the racetrack. And Hunt almost came down across the nose of the 81. Oh, 3 wide as the 81 of Sudfin trying to make up positions. Chris Otto in the 48 starting to fall back. Rick Helms on the inside. That white, yellow, green, and purple, number 75 of Helms. Blake Howell currently with the lead and starting to gap Mike Hamlin. Hamlin trying to run that inside line. And you can see right there from Howell the advantage of running the high line. Able to straighten that corner off. Be able to put the power down and keep the wheels straight a lot quicker than you would be able to if you stayed to the inside line, as Hamlin about to have a mirror full of the 01 of Roden, but now Christian Roos starting to work his way up. The 31 of Chris Papa nearly puts it at the turn 2 wall. Now Kobe Sudfin has had an issue, so he is fallen back. That's the black car in the back there in the 81. 3 wide through 3 and 4 as Chris Papa in the 31 able to maintain that position at least for the moment. Big dive by Roos in the 14 on the inside line. Roos still trying to get that position away. Hasn't quite cleared Papa in the 31 just yet. And now he will. And will look to set his sights on David Hunt, the points leader. Mike Hamlin now does have a rear view mirror full of Justin Roden. Just 2 laps to go until we get to the end of the first heat. And boy, these laps here in Phoenix go by quick. As the 28 of Hamlin trying to keep and hold that second position. Christian Roos now starting to put the 53 of David Hunt under pressure. Trying to get a top 5 finishing position in this first heat, and it looks as though he's going to do that. Watch for the 14 to come up. There he goes. On the inside line, is he going to have enough time? It doesn't look like he's going to. It brings the 31 of Papa up just a little bit closer, but coming through turns 3 and 4 now. Blake Howell goes from pillar to post here in stage 1 and takes the victory in in heat number 1. Very good performance for that 99 of Howell. And we will now take a look at the finishing results here for heat number 1. It'll be Blake Howell, Mike Hamlin, Justin Roden, your podium finishers. Chris Otto, Dave Hunt holding on to that top 5 spot ahead of Christian Roos and Chris Papa, who were very close behind him. Rick Helms finishing in 8th, and Kobe Sudfin finishing in the 9th position. Heat number 2 getting set to go. And heat number 2, the front row will consist of the 2 drivers that did not take part in heat number 1. The rest of the field will be filled out, so it'll be Daniel Pearson, the overall pole winner, and Gino Marrow, the overall second place qualifier, will start in row 1 for heat number 2. Blake Howell, Mike Hamlin will make up row 2. Justin Roden and Chris Otto, row 3. Dave Hunt and Christian Roos in row 4. Chris Papa and Rick Helms in row 5, with Kobe Sudfin and with Kobe Sutphin on the final row, pardon me. I'm new to the series, and so therefore new to the format. It looks as though the first row got a waiver from the heat race as we now get into the feature here tonight, and that's a part of learning. We'll learn together. As Daniel Pearson, with that 99 of Blake Howell all over his back bumper here, getting ready for the restart, set for the feature race here at Phoenix tonight. Green flag is out, 120 laps from Phoenix. We are green. Blake Howell with a big dive to the inside, and he's going to get the lead. What a start from the 99 of Howell. Unfortunately, slides up the racetrack, brings Pearson right back to the inside of him. The 01 of Justin Roden right there as well. Boy, Roden now pushing up darn near into the side of Gino Marrow in the 45. Now Marrow's going to take the low road. It's been very treacherous, especially on older tires, with these guys taking that access with that dog leg cut. Is boy, Pearson almost puts it in the wall coming out of 2. And almost into the side of Marrow. Is look how close those two are getting. Coming through 3 and 4. Marrow taking the inside. Pearson taking the circuit, gives him the outside line through turns 1 and 2, the preferred line. Oh, and now the 21 does catch that wall coming out of 2. Be interesting to see how that new damage model affects these guys, especially for small little wall hits like that. Doesn't seem to be much. Sorry, Dave. I promise I will not say David again. Looking in the chat. There is Dave Hunt. On the outside, trying to get back ahead of Kobe Sutphin. Sutphin holding Hunt pretty well on that outside line. Hunt able to complete the pass as Justin Roden sliding up in front of Mike Hamlin. And Roden will be able to complete the will be able to maintain that position. Blake Howell still in the race lead. And Howell has opened up about a second lead over Gino Marrow. Daniel Pearson, the pole sitter, has not led really at all here in this race thus far. Still very early. 60% fuel fill on these cars today. So we should be expecting a pit stop here at some point. Possibly 2, depending upon when the first round of pit stops does come through. There's Kobe Sutphin still working Dave Hunt. See that inside line not used, and it will be difficult to pass here because of that fact. One of those deals where you almost have to just wait out the driver going into the corner, see if you can get higher than him, but doing that, you tend to lose a lot more than you gain. Sutphin all the way down to 3rd gear through turns 1 and 2. Third gear at both ends of the racetrack for the 81. Justin Roden starting to get away from Mike Hamlin just a little bit. Not quite catching up to the front two. As Gino Marrow, actually the fastest car on track that last lap, taking about a 1/10.5 out of Howell's lead. And that time Howell almost took 2/10 out of Marrow. As that number 99 has seen victory lane, not just in this series, but in real life as well. Winning this past week at Sonoma. Howell's been on a solid run, looking to go back-to-back in that 99. Sure, he's not looking to go back to that wall in 1 and 2. Winner at Auto Club 2 weeks ago was the 99. Field's starting to spread out just a little bit. Closest battle on track is actually for the final position, as Chris Papa trying to defend from the 14 of Christian Roos. Everyone else getting rather spread out, as the fight up front has kind of gone back and forth. One lap, Howell will have the faster lap, then it's Marrow. This time it's Marrow again. For the last 5 laps, that 45 has taken a little bit out of the 99 each time. Still very early on in this run. Working lap 14 of 120 here from Phoenix this afternoon. Howell getting really low, cutting that dog leg, and Marrow staying a little bit higher and gaining time, and really gained some time there through 1 and 2. Looks like Marrow a little bit better on the brakes right now, as the run starts to go on. That's more what I expected to hear there. You can just hear the one downshift into 4th. One of the advantage of now these 5-speed cars. Downshifting. Big run through the center of the corner there for the 45. Marrow unfortunately not able to do much with it, as he has certainly started to flex his muscles, as a little bit further back, Mike Hamlin, pardon me. There we go. See, Dave, I stopped calling you David, now I'm calling you Mike. Hamlin looks to the inside of Justin Roden, this for 4th. And Hamlin will take the position to make it look easy, as the leaders are side by side. Blake Howell has looked very vulnerable on corner exit here lately. As, oh, big dive by Gino Marrow going into the corner. Looking back, and it doesn't get much closer than that, as Howell will cut the corner and will gain a little bit of breathing room on Marrow. Just watch how much Marrow's going to close up here in the braking zone. Oh, actually not that much. Howell certainly got a better run into the corner that time. And while all this is going on, Daniel Pearson is right there lying in wait So, Evan, I'm seeing in the chat here, it's Rodden, not Roden. So we'll go with Rodden now, I guess. As here comes Gino Marrow. For the race lead, a little bit of a wiggle there out of Marrow on the inside line. That's going to cost him as Howell gets the advantage coming out of turn 2, but he's not going to be able to get it going into turn 3. As Gino Marrow will take the race lead, Blake Howell diving to the inside. Cannot quite get the run that he got on the initial start through that dog leg. As now Mike Hamlin starting to come into the picture. Hamlin a significant amount quicker than these three battling. Two-tenths of a second quicker as Pearson looks to the inside of the 99 as Howell clips the wall in turns 1 and 2. That will allow Pearson the advantage going into turn 3. Mike Hamlin will also follow him through. As Justin Rodden has started to fall back a little bit. Thank you, Evan, again. First time broadcasting the series, so small mistakes will be made. Battle for 6th. Dave Hunt, Justin Rodden, Chris Otto. Otto takes the dog leg. Oh, and that's big time contact there for Chris Otto. And that will be caution number 1. Set it from the start. The new update to these cars has completely changed the way these things transition from the apron to the racetrack. And later on in the run, it's going to be very, very sketchy getting up off the dog leg or coming off of the track and onto the apron to cut that dog leg. And that appears to be exactly what happened with the 48. See a replay of it here. And again, we saw him dive away to take the dog leg, and it just looked like the back end got away from him. We smacked that diffuser on the ground and got the back end out of sorts. Look back at Otto and try to listen here as he fights to keep this car under control. You can hear the hop. And the heavy damage on the front of that car. That will be the end of the day for the man who sits second place in the point standings, as pit stops have gone through. Gino Marrow, as expected, has come out in first. Either fuel only or 2 tire stops throughout the field. Justin Rodden taking 4. Christian Roos and Chris Papa taking 4. Dave Hunt not coming into pit at all, trying to get the bonus point for a lap led, especially with Otto now out of this race. And the lights now out on the pace car. So Hunt on 28-lap-old tires has gotten himself the track position that he needs. Again, Marrow, Pearson, Hamlin, Sutphin, Howell, Howell and Helms did not take tires on that pit stop. Rodden, Roos, and Papa did. So Hunt is not, the only disadvantage that the 53 is at right now is fuel disadvantage. With 26 laps less fuel than everybody else, green flag back in the air, and we are running again here at Phoenix. The 81 of Sutphin takes the big dive. He saw what the 99 was able to do, and Sutphin jumps all the way up, possibly to third. What a restart for the 81. We saw the 99 do it, take the lead from third on the initial start. And Sutphin has gone from about 7th to battling Hamlin for 4th. Big dive through the dogleg for Gino Marrow. As Marrow has lost position to Pearson. Pearson now all over the back of Dave Hunt. Blake Howell, this is about as far back as we've seen him. Currently running in the 6th position. Hunt able to hold these guys off for now as Marrow takes the dive to the inside. We'll get the inside position as now we're coming to 3 wide through turn 2. Boy, that 21, that's a precarious spot for him to be in as Marrow gives way. Pearson looking for the race lead, side by side, maybe a little bit of contact, I believe, definitely contact between himself and the 53. The 45 of Marrow cuts to the dogleg. And Marrow's going to get the lead because of it. So does Sutphin. Look at Sutphin come through. Sutphin in third, even with second. As Hunt falls back, Sutphin once again using that dogleg to his advantage. It's 81 looking like a completely different car from the heat race to now, as the 21 still not done losing positions, is Mike Hamlin looking to attack. Hunt has fallen back to 5th as Marrow regains the race lead, but for how long? As here comes the 81 of Sutphin, and Cody Sutphin up into the lead after restarting in 7th not 5 laps ago. Mike Hamlin to the inside of Pearson, that for 3rd. A little bit of a blink there from Marrow. Hamlin able to take that position. As Hunt now trying to put a move on Pearson. Pearson's car started to really come alive towards the end of that run, and boy, just catches the wall coming out of turn 2 again. Light contact, but that light contact does add up over the course of the race. Pearson losing position not just to Christian Roos, but Justin Rodden, in the 01. Rodden and Roos did take tires, so these guys are going to be quick as Rodden jumps up to the 4th position. He looked a little squirrely taking that dog leg as well. And again, thank you, Evan. 2 sets of tires for these guys during the race today. Boy, Rodden right up on those new tires. Right up to the back of the front trio, making it a quartet up front. Sutphin looking for his first win of this season. Still early. 80 laps to go, or nearing 80 to go. Rodden to the inside of Hamlin looking for third. Can't quite get that run off of turn 2, even with the fresher tires. New turn 2 can wreak havoc if you don't have the line, and Rodden immediately takes to the dogleg. He'll get that inside position on the 28. And he will use that tire advantage to not just get Hamlin, but he's also going to get Marrow. Big corner for Rodden, going from 4th to 2nd in just that one corner. And now he sets his sights on Kobe Sutphin. And I don't think Sutphin's going to have too much to say about this, as Justin Rodden right to the race lead. The first of the new tire drivers coming up through the field and leading this race with 80 to go when we hit the line. Christian Roos, the second of the drivers that took fresh tires, under the caution on lap 25. Roos in 5th right now, not far off of Gino Marrow, who lost that 3rd position to Mike Hamlin during that exchange. Chris Papa in the 31 also took 4 tires, running in 7th, as there goes Roos. Looking to the inside of Marrow for 4th. He elects to not shoot the dog leg, as Roos will now hold the 4th position. But right now it is the Justin Rodden show, already up by 2.25 seconds after taking the lead a couple of laps ago. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're watching the Night Shift Racing League Round 11 from the Phoenix Raceway. We'll be back right after this. Drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight, is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, the rocket! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the West Coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
drivers that took time, all of them within 3.5 tenths of each other tonight is going to be a very closely competitive race.
As the field works its way out of the 3-4 complex, the only thing that's left to say is wipe the visor, adjust the 5-point safety harness, because race fans, it's showtime!
Amazing looking cars already. Green flag will fly.
Well, oh, the wreck-it! Well, one thing that you're going to see at this track that we haven't seen the last few weeks is a surface that's multi-group. I think this is the first multi-group surface we're going to have.
After an amazing race at Daytona, we now come to the left coast and Auto Club Speedway in Fontana, California for the second round of the Way She Goes Racing League Cup Series.
Back here at Phoenix Raceway for round 11 of the Night Shift Racing League. Rick Helms dives to pit road. Intriguing decision, seeing as though he was one of the drivers that came in on lap 26 during the caution. When last we left you, Justin Rodden had a 2.2 second lead. That lead has grown a little bit. It's now almost 11 seconds. In just the time it took in that break, he has grown an 11-second lead on the rest of the field. Now, Mike Hamlin and Kobe Sutphin did swap positions, but still quite a run as Christian Roos, again on fresh tires, trying to work his way around the 81. Dave Hunt has also elected to come down pit road. Now, Hunt we knew was going to have to come in early. Hunt was the only driver that did not come down pit road during that caution flag on lap 25. As Sutphin now in imminent danger of losing that position to Christian Roos. Hamlin has now escaped to the tune of about 1.5 seconds. And again, Christian Roos on those fresher tires as here comes, it looks like, no, maybe not. Gonna make sure he didn't mess up that corner exit. Stayed quite low, thought he was coming into the pits there, was Roos. Chris Papa now starting to put pressure on Daniel Pearson. Papa started in 9th here for this race. And again, here comes Rick Helms. Helms again just came down pit road, put 4 tires and fuel in it. So he will be a lightning bolt right now in that number 75. Pearson gets way out of the way and allows the 31 of Papa right back in. Now here comes Papa looking to the inside, and Papa will take that position. Again, much in the case of the 01 and the 14, Papa does have a tire advantage on the guys he's currently racing around. Rodden's times are starting to come back down to earth. See, he's almost got a full straightaway lead on Hamlin in the 28. Still running about 0.4 seconds a lap quicker than Hamlin, but that's a heck of a lot better than the second a lap better that he was at this point of the run where he was really starting to make moves. Hamlin, it has broken away from Sutphin. Sutphin now is starting to close that gap down. Take a look. This is the lap chart from Sutphin to the back of Hamlin. He's closed that gap a little bit. It's starting to widen again. So he closed it to just under a second, around 0.8 of a second. Now it's starting to climb again. Back into Hamlin's benefit. As Mike Hamlin looks to the inside of Dave Hunt. Hunt getting out of the way. Hunt running in 9th right now. If the caution were to come out, he would be the first car not on the lead lap, so he will get the free pass. Rick Helms wants that position, and in a moment it appears as though he's going to get it. And he will do just that. Hunt with a 12-second pit stop as the caution flies at the halfway point. Not seeing an incident, so one would suggest it's halftime. So the leader at the half, Justin Rodden, has that 15-second lead that he amassed completely wiped out. And when that caution flew, it appears to have been Blake Howell that was out in front as the leaders now come down pit road. It was Blake Howell who will get the free pass in the 99, so he must have just gotten lapped right before that caution came out. So that will trap the 75 and the 53 a lap down. As Rodden, a little bit long in the box, and he'll take his second set of tires. Gino Marrow long in the box. So Rodden 4 tires and fuel away. Pearson just getting to his box now. With how spread out the leaders were, they should go out the same order they came in, and that's exactly what it appears as though they'll do. Blake Howell coming around after getting the free pass. That 99, we showed him during the break. That was a battle for 9th between himself and Dave Hunt. Kobe Sutphin coming out 4th. Christian Roos up to 3rd. Some of these guys taking time to repair, I would assume, right side damage. Hamlin, 22-second stop. Sutphin, a 27-second stop. Gino Marrow and Daniel Pearson, 32 and 39-second pit stops, respectively. And I think Justin Rodden's going to come in again. Christian Roos is going to follow him. Chris Papa is going to follow them as well. It's 60% fuel fill here tonight. Could be a fuel strategy. Now, knowing these guys do not have another set of tires, these three, Rodden, Roos, and Papa, do not have that extra set of tires left, so they're going to have to make those tires last just in the same way the guys who stayed out had to in the first half of the race. Top off on fuel and away they go. So they might certainly be playing a fuel strategy. 55 laps to go here from Phoenix for the Night Shift Racing League. As we get set to go back to green flag racing, field waiting for the restart zone. As mentioned, another rule that was brought in for this season by iRacing. Green flag in the air. Mike Hamlin for the first time today leads them down and away. Gino Marrow right there as well on the outside line. Kobe Sutphin did not get a good start. Falls already a half a second back. Daniel Pearson saw how good he was at the beginning of the race, now starting to work his way back forward. Blake Howell 1.3 seconds back. Now we've seen him with connection issues. Rick Helms not of consequence to the 99, so allowing him to go through. Now Dave Hunt in the 53 would be the first car not on the lead lap if a caution were to come out. Mike Hamlin has Gino Marrow all over him. In that 45. As Marrow takes to the inside. Gets side by side with Marrow, or gets side by side with Hamlin. Hamlin does take the position. So Mike Hamlin losing the lead. A very good run into that corner though for Hamlin. You can see very well that diffuser. Jump back on that nose cam we had a little bit earlier. Very good look at that diffuser on the 45. Meant to pull the back end of the car down. That using basically an aero vacuum to pull the back end of that car down, create a couple of air channels for the air to get through under the car, pulling the car down onto the racetrack. And again, if you remember going back to just a couple of weeks ago, even last time out at Auto Club, you'll notice they are significantly lower than what they were at the end of season 2 for iRacing, the official iRacing season. Daniel Pearson trying to work his way back up. Apologies. These three have broken away. Now, these were the three that really showed a lot of pace in the opening stint of the race before the caution on lap 26. Marrow starting to get away a little bit. Hamlin looking to hold off Pearson. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to do it for much longer, as there goes Pearson into the second position. At least even with Hamlin now, as Hamlin, look at the slingshot coming off the outside of turn 2. Boy, and really dives in front of the 21. Going down into turn 3. Kobe Sutphin a second off of this group, as Pearson once again looks to the inside of the 28, and in this time as well, Marrow starting to look a little compromised. Marrow losing some time to these two, even with them fighting. Kobe Sutphin starting to bring it back up. He does have Dave Hunt with him. So unfortunately for Hunt, not a battle for position, but in the position he needs to be in. If a caution were to come out, as Hunt peeking to the inside of Sutphin. As these top three now starting to be content with status quo, at least for the moment. Justin Rodden has not had the same success that he had at the end of the first half of this event. Papa leading the cars that came in again under that pit stop. He's right in front of Rodden. Papa using that dog leg to maintain position, as Pearson having another look on Hamlin. Hamlin, however, on that outside line, not giving the spot up easily. Flat racetracks and these powerful cars are not a good recipe for passing, so if you're going to pass somebody, you need to make sure you have a very good run. Otherwise, the chances of you completing that pass are slim. And Sutphin has caught right up to these guys. Was 1.2 seconds back. Now flirting with a half a second back off of Pearson. Blake Howell has also caught up to the pair of Sutphin and Hunt. Blake Howell led all the way up until the caution, or just before the caution on lap 25. Marrow still holding on to this race lead, and it was Marrow who actually passed the 99 of Howell. Another dive in for Pearson. And the reason why it's so difficult to pass on the inside here is, one, it's a flat racetrack, so anytime you put any pressure on the throttle, the car wants to shoot out. And if you're the 28 or if you're whatever car on the outside line, you can control that car on the inside a lot better than you can control the car on the outside. By pinching him down, you can really slow him down, but Hamlin took a lot of speed going into turn one there. He's not going to deny Pearson second position on this occasion, and now Kobe Sutphin looking to put on an attack as well. Top four pictured, top five actually pictured, as Howell has gotten around Hunt side by side, or darn near side by side. Marrow and Pearson for the lead. These guys are all within a second and a half of each other. Distance between the five cars up at the front virtually identical. Howell looking for any advantage that he could possibly find in that 99. Just inside of 40 laps to go. Marrow took a very shallow exit out of turn two there. Hamlin trying to put pressure back on Pearson. Kobe Sutphin takes the dog leg, and now he's putting pressure on Hamlin. Hamlin takes turns 1 and 2 wide, but will still get that momentum coming out of the corner of Sutphin. I don't think he's going to be able to. No, he's not. Sutphin not able to keep to the inside of the 28. To the inside, a solid run into that quarter for Sutphin. Rode on board with Sutphin earlier, and you can still hear it going down to third gear through these corners. Trying to get as much rotation that he possibly can get. Pearson and Hamlin still going at it. Sutphin looking out the front, but pretty soon he's going to have to start looking out the back as Howell is right there. Here comes Hamlin on Pearson. And Pearson really overshoots turn 3 and 4. That allows Hamlin back through for second. Kobe Sutphin looking to try to take advantage, but the apron, the transition sends him sideways. Saw Chris Otto do the exact same thing. That allows not only Blake Howell to get around Sutphin, but he got around Pearson through that as well. Blake Howell from 5th to 3rd. Again, Hunt at the back of this train, not for position, as Sutphin showing no fear. He goes right back to the dog leg and looks to the inside of Pearson. The move he was trying to make initially is now complete. Boy, he gets really close to the 99 of Howell. Pearson didn't leave him much room behind either, as Pearson might have used a little too much. Trying to get around Hamlin earlier on and trying to stay in front of him. Take a look back at what happened with Sutphin. This is coming off of turn 4. Pardon me. There we go. Oh, yep, caught that transition. We'll get another look at it. There we are. Just tries to cut, and it just the way the car hops and bounces. Coming off of the banking. Back to live pictures, side by side between Sutphin and Howell. Again, Sutphin looking for his first win of the season. Howell looking for his second in a row. Hamlin looking for his season-leading third. Gino Marrow in that 45, at least according to the standings that I'm seeing, running just his second race of the season. Took the pole, finished second at Auto Club last week. Started second, looking for a win here today. Sutphin has lost some time. As Sutphin now looking to the back and a little bit of contact with the 21 of Daniel Pearson. Having to fall back in line. See now who's looming in the background there. That's Justin Rodden. About a second off of these guys and starting to move his way forward. Really saved those tires at the beginning of this run. Now trying to make it work for him as here comes Sutphin on Pearson, and he will make the pass. We'll go back and take a look and see what happened to put Sutphin in the position he was in, because he was running up in third. That's Howell on the outside of him, ducks in behind Howell, and then going into turn 3. Both of those guys really slow and pushing up the track. Doesn't take the dog leg there, and then just dives way too deep into turn one, allows Howell to come back. Almost some contact between the two. And then there, that little bit of a little fit of looseness after he hit the apron is what ends up giving the 21 of Pearson a shot, as Pearson now to pit road. Just under 25 laps to go. Here from Phoenix, Chris Papa has been down pit road and out. Pearson now looking for his box. Gino Marrow has been significantly caught by Mike Hamlin. Closed in over this last lap. Hamlin has certainly made the better of his situation. Hamlin in the process has gotten away from Blake Howell to the tune of a 1.5 seconds. Kobe Sutphin in pit road. Now these guys will have 4 tires available to them. Daniel Pearson on 4 fresh tires for the final 20 laps. Again, Chris Papa, Christian Roos, and Justin Rodden, currently running in 4th, do not have that extra set of tires, so they will have a shorter pit stop here come the end of this race, but they will not have the tires, as here comes Mike Hamlin down into pit road. Aggressive pit entry from Hamlin, trying to cut out as much of the track and keep as much speed up as he possibly can. That will move Blake Howell into 2nd, Justin Rodden into 3rd. Show you the difference between fresh tires. We'll see what Pearson's able to do here. Pearson crossing the line, did a 28.16. Gino Marrow, who comes into pit road now. Blake Howell down pit road. Last lap did a 29.3 for Marrow, so 2 seconds quicker, a full second quicker. Rodden stays out. Christian Roos electing to stay out as well. Now the 01 and 14 did stay out and did come into pit just before the race was about to go back to green flag action. So they do have a little bit more fuel than everybody else. Plus the 01, we saw him saving. There's Mike Hamlin. Marrow still in the box. There goes the rights. Onto the car. Hamlin comes across. So Hamlin now has the effective race lead in the 28. Great pit stop for the 28 of Hamlin. Has gotten him to effective race lead. Daniel Pearson is effective 2nd. Marrow has fallen to 3rd. Howell 4th. Papa 5th. Sutphin 6th. Pearson just laid down the fastest lap of the race at a 27.6. So he is flying right now. That's Justin Rodden. These guys getting their laps back from the 01 right now. That is not a pass for position. That is a pass to get the 21 back on the lead lap. Gino Marrow's been flying on this lap. He'll get through. Blake Howell there as well. Now, if Rodden is attempting to stay out here, I don't think it's going to work. Oh, it's got a chance, I will say. because Hamlin's pace, he's running at 27.95 the last time around. Rodden ran a 29.87 the last lap. We know the 28's pace is going to fall off where he's not lapping 2 seconds faster than the 01 every single lap. So if Rodden is trying to stretch this, which you can see he's really backed the pace off now, he's got to stay somewhat in the neighborhood of at least 2 seconds a lap slower than Hamlin if he wants to make it the rest of the way and take the win. Christian Roos is on the same strategy. Roos is 10 seconds behind the 01. And is not really in the fight as far as the race win is concerned, because if he's on the same fuel conserving strategy, it's going to do him no good to try to put the power down to catch the 01. So it has become a chase. Blake Howell starting to try to put pressure on the 45 of Gino Marrow. Blake Howell, the winner of the heat race prior to the feature. You just hear the hopping and just how violent coming off of that banking is. That's a hard hit and a lot of bounce in a car that does not like to bounce. 12 laps to go. Kobe Sutphin putting himself back on the lead lap. Chris Papa not that far away from doing the same thing. If Rodden and Roos do have to come into pit, this trio right here, the 28, 45, and 99, is your battle for the win. And they have to keep the pedal to the metal here to try to catch Rodden. Sutphin in the gap back to Hamlin. You can see that steady staircase continuing to fall Hamlin's way, as now Gino Marrow has taken over that position. Now Marrow has led most of the laps here today. And at 45, looking for his first win in just his second outing with the series. Hamlin and Howell going side by side. Howell looking for his second straight. Don't squabble now. These guys still have to make up 13 seconds on the race lead. Howell goes low. Howell gets the inside line on the 28, and Howell, at least for the moment, looks like he's going to pick up that effective second position. He does. Howell, the winner of the heat race earlier on tonight. 8 laps to go. Can Rodden hold on? If he stays where he is, which is 2 seconds slower than these three, he will win by 4 seconds. And this will soon become a battle for second, because there is the 14 of Christian Roos. And you just saw that purple nose behind. These three will very easily overtake that 14. 7 to go. Close battle for the finish here. As things have now just completely changed, as Chris Papa has caused a caution. There he is, sitting in pit road. And we'll see what caused the second caution of the race. He might have run. No, he spun on the apron. And that is the cause of just the second caution of the race. And I'm sure Justin Rodden is about as unhappy as you can get, because from what it appears, he may have been able to make it. And now he can't pit. Does not have a tire advantage waiting for him in pit road. Christian Roos does come into pit. The only reason why he would is because he couldn't make it. And the strategy that appeared to work out so perfectly for the 01 has gone completely by the wayside. Chris Papa still towing back to pit road. He towed in an attempt to keep that caution from coming out. But unfortunately could not, as Rodden now has to hold off Gino Marrow, Blake Howell, Mike Hamlin, Daniel Pearson, and Kobe Sutphin to try to win this race in what will come down to a green-white checkered finish. But almost pulled a worldly strategy to win this race. First time of asking. And now he's got to hold off cars with 40 lap better tires and no fuel concerns. .45 of Gino Marrow has led the most laps today, has been the most dominant. Led 16 laps 2 weeks ago at Auto Club. Started on the pole, finished second, looking to win in his second try of asking. Blake Howell looking to win his first two races in the Night Shift Racing League. Started third at Auto Club 2 weeks ago and won, leading the most laps. Looking to go 2 for 2 in his NSRL career. Rodden has chosen the outside lane for this restart, so he will be in control and will have the preferred line at least going into turns 1 and 2. Will he have the lead going into those two corners is a completely different story. Green-white checkered finish, a natural green-white checkered finish here at Phoenix. On the way, Rodden, green flag is out, a solid jump for the 01 of Rodden. 45 and 99 both immediately take to the inside, so does Rodden. 45 looks to the high side, 45 puts himself in the wall, trying to get to that high line on the 01, but Gino Marrow with the tire grip is going to be able to pass him quite easily. Mike Hamlin has gotten into second. Well, now looking to get into second. A big shot from the 99. Somehow they both keep it straight. White flag is in the air. They're going to race back. And Gino Marrow is going to come through uncontested as Blake Howell. Boy, contact between the 81 and the 01. Christian Roos now there as well. Roos looking for third. Roos is going to get third after the 81 pushes the 01 wide. Gino Marrow will come through turns 3 and 4. He will win here at Phoenix. What a final lap here in the desert. Extracurricular activities in the back as Christian Roos has gone around. Roos somehow sneaks a third place out of this. Sutphin comes up just short. And we'll go through it all again. As Howell just put the bumper to the 28 of Hamlin. There's the shot. Sends Hamlin up the track. Hamlin goes around. Then between Roos, a little bit of contact between the 81 and the 01. Roos shoves the 01 up the track. The 81 gives him another shot. And then even more contact between the 81 and the 1. And that is your finish here at Phoenix. And what a race it was. Great action at the front. And a solid event here today at Phoenix. And we'll bring these drivers up here in just a moment. Looks as though we will we'll have at least our winner and our second place finisher. Okay, no, there we go. We got him now. All right, so all three will be joining me here. And now, as we'll go now to our race winner, the 45 of Gino Marrow. Gino, what a run for you today. A very good car. How did you get through that last lap squabble?
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. My tires were cold after that long run. I'm pretty sure beat up. I didn't mean to hit the wall. I legit locked up my left front going into turn 1, and I just couldn't stop. And luckily, the new composite body update helped me get off the wall. And since the 01 didn't really have any tire, I kind of just went underneath him. But yeah, just a massive lockup, and I could have decked the wall even harder. But luckily, it was a 0x.
Did you think you may have had a shot if that race would have gone green? Because from my calculation, it looked like you were going to be about 4 seconds short of catching the 01 if that race would have stayed green. Did you think you had it, or were you just battling with the 99 and the 28 for second at that point?
Yeah, me and the 99 were just working through traffic. Blake and I were on the same pace all race long, but early in the race, I'm not sure if you caught it, but Howell blew a right front in the first stage before the stage completed.
I missed that.
Yeah, he blew a right front, and then he got DQ'd, and then he got his black flag cleared, and then luckily it was only one lap down. But knowing that, I knew the 01 could not make it on tire. He had to go really slow, and I was already gaining like 7/10, 5/10, and it was just only a matter of time. And if he could have saved that amount of fuel and tire, then he absolutely was a legend. But honestly, it was just get to P2 and wait until, he blows right front or doesn't make it on gas. The top two didn't make it. Well, couldn't have made it, but who knows? Maybe they saved.
So for the schedule we have Kansas coming up next week, but I've heard in the chat that it's Bristol next week. Which race are you looking more forward to, and which race do you think you have a better shot at?
Honestly, I'm more of a mile and a halfer guy, so I'd say Kansas. I love mile and a halfers, and I love the strategy coming in with mile and a halfers like this one. Just get spread out. You got to make sure you're good on time and pit stops, and it's more, let's just say, technical than short track racing. I like short tracks, but it's not the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And who do you have to thank here for this your win here today?
Gotta just thank Blake for keeping me up almost all night. The race this morning, I don't even know what time it is for me. It is currently 10:24, and I have
West
not
Coast
slept.
guy too.
Yes, sir. California.
There you go. All right, so there is your winner. Second race in the series, first win. Gino Marrow, congratulations, bud.
Yep, thank you.
All right, so there is your race winner, and we will now go to our second place finisher, Blake Howell. Blake came up close, a big bumper to the 28. What happened from your perspective there on that last lap or so?
Well, before I say anything, I want to apologize to Mike. There was no intent behind that. But I hit my normal braking spot, and he checked up a lot earlier than I thought he was going to, and I slammed the brakes. I about locked it up trying to not hit him, and there was no avoiding it. But yeah, sorry. Sorry to Mike. No intent behind that. I understand he's running for a championship, and I'm not. But
Now, with this new body model on these cars, this is the first opportunity in the league, at least, that you've had a chance to run it. And we made so much about them lowering the diffuser, and we saw a couple of guys get caught out on the transition from the banking to the apron and the dog leg. How did you find that? Did you find it more difficult or less difficult as compared to the Season 2 version of this car?
It's a lot different. It's really different. I'd say the transition from track to dog leg is a lot more difficult than it was. Break loose a lot easier. But in terms of just how the track drives, I'd say it's a lot easier.
So we head now either to, as I said, to Gino. I saw in the chat that it was Bristol next week, but in my schedule we have Kansas next week. Which one are you looking more forward to, and which one do you think you'll have a better shot at?
I think I'd have a much better shot at Kansas than I would Bristol. I love the short tracks, but just not my thing. I feel like going to Kansas would be a much better opportunity for this 99 team to get another win.
All right, anybody else you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank 1-3 Speed and Chris Papa, all the guys over there. Give me the opportunity to drive this car. I want to thank Rogue Energy and Red Duck Comics, First Page Media, all the guys on the car today.
All right, your second place finisher, Blake Howell. Bud, congratulations.
Thank you.
Very close to back-to-back for Blake, and unfortunately did not go. We will now speak to Christian Roos, our third place finisher. Christian, a very relaxed run for you today, mid-pack most of the way. How did you make it through that last lap kerfuffle?
Oh, I don't even know. You're asking the wrong guy to figure that one out. I was saving there for that entire second stage, and I was trying to save tires a little bit for the first stage, and put myself way behind. The second, third, fourth place guys definitely would have gotten me had it not had the caution not come out there. But making it through that caution, or the little kerfuffle as you called it there, going into 4 coming to the white, that was crazy. I don't know exactly what happened. I just drove it in deep and hoped that I made it out of there alive.
Now, we had spoke to Blake about how this new car handled, and he said it felt like it was a lot easier to get around this racetrack than the Season 2 car. What were your thoughts on the car and just how iRacing has changed it from the last time you guys were out here 2 weeks ago at Auto Club?
Honestly, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to all the physics and everything around it. I just like coming out here and driving. I do like that the new damage model has fixed some of the things, the big issues that we were having. It seemed like you could get the wall a little bit harder accidentally and be able to make it through. I personally really liked the way the car drove. It was tight, especially on long runs when that right front wore out. But like I said, I saved tires there for the first stage or so, and I was making my way back through it. I really liked how the physics of this car have kind of changed a little bit.
All right, so now that you're the one that created the schedule, we have Kansas as the next race. I heard in the chat that it's Bristol, so where do we go next week?
I believe it is. Yes, it's Kansas next week.
Okay, so
Bristol will be 2 weeks from now.
Okay, so it is Kansas. What are your thoughts going into
Yes.
Kansas next week as we enter the final handful of races for the season?
Yeah, Kansas is kind of a home track for me. I live up in central Iowa, so I'm really looking forward to that. It's always been a strong track for me. I really like kind of running the high line there. I do enjoy how wide of a track it is, how you can get multiple grooves going. I know there's a couple guys in this league that have had success there. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good race. The rest of the season's looking like Bristol, Watkins Glen, and Charlotte after that. Short track tempers are definitely going to flare, especially after some of the drama today. Watkins Glen is a toss up for anyone. I feel like there's some really good road racers here in the league. But with this new car, I feel like it kind of evens the playing field a bit. And then Charlotte is another one of my personal strong tracks. I've had a lot of success there. So I'm really looking forward to the rest of the season here, finishing out strong, and looking forward to the next season.
All right, anybody else you want to thank before we let you go?
Definitely. First, I'd like to thank my wife for hopping on, or for allowing me to do what I do here with my hobbies and everything. Chris Papa and 1-3 Speed for hopping on as my sponsor and sponsor for the league, Extreme Automotive Detailing. The rest of the guys in the league for sticking around. I know we've had some low car counts here the past couple weeks, but I appreciate all the guys showing up and making the league what it is. And then thankfully, we're thankful for you guys putting us on after we lost our original broadcaster earlier this season. Huge thanks to you guys for making a time slot for us and making it work.
Well, absolutely. Noon is not a hotbed for league racing, so we were always going to have a spot for you. So here's your third place finisher tonight, Christian Roosbud. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Look forward to seeing you in the future.
Yes, you definitely will. As that will effectively do it for the race here tonight. A lot of close racing up at the front. We had that thought of fuel strategy there at the very end of the race. Looked like Justin Rodden was going to be able to take the race win. Unfortunately, fell a little bit short thanks to the caution and then the mayhem that happened at the end of that natural green-white checker that we got here at the end of this race. A fun afternoon of racing here for the Night Shift Racing League, and we have now confirmed officially that it will be Kansas next week that we will venture out to. Final results here for today's race. Gino Marrow comes home with the race win. Blake Howell and Christian Roos, you've heard from those three as the podium finishers. Kobe Sutphin and Justin Rodden coming home in the top five. Daniel Pearson, Mike Hamlin, David Hunt, Dave Hunt coming home in eighth. Chris Papa, Rick Helms, the last of the finishing drivers. Chris Otto, we saw he was the cause of the first caution back on lap 25, finishing the race as the only DNF in the final position. Coming up here on ESBN, tomorrow will be a doubleheader. It will be the Thunderclap Stock Car iRacing Series. They will be in the trucks at Worldwide Tech Raceway. If you've not checked out that series, it is an incredible series to watch. About 95% of the drivers in the series all have jobs in NASCAR or in some form of motorsport. That will be an 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time start tomorrow evening. 40 minutes later, the Way She Goes Racing League will be at the iRacing Super Speedway in these Cup cars. On Friday, the Circle B Diecast Super Speedway Series will run race number 1 of round 3 of the playoffs. They will be at Daytona at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. And then round 5 of our Super Late Model AI Series will be at North Wilkesboro this Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I thank you very much for joining me here tonight. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day, and we will see you from Kansas next week with the Night Shift Racing League. Have a great day, everybody.